Dark-Winged Rival, Wind Crowang.
Oh,
yeah. So, we're going to start this stage off with a really unnecessarily long intro, which
happens every time you fucking die in
yeah,
this section.
So if you die, you watch that every time, and it never gets any more interesting than just then. So you've seen it. And I love this. Just like, this is really dangerous, but do it anyway. Even though you literally just flew in on one, we could just fly you to the end. Just go for it. So, I'm going to make this stage look pretty easy, and that is only because of repetition.
And not collecting shit.
Yeah, and not collecting things. So, there's a lot of rescue Reploids in this intro bit. This is one of the only ones I'll be picking up, or no.
No,
that was a... We've been playing a lot at this point. So, there are 3 types of ship. You've now seen all 3. Blue ones are stationary. The green ones move back and forth on a set path. The red ones advance you somewhere and will not go back. The moving ones, so the green and the red, have wind pressure on them. So basically, they will fight you and your controls. So if you are jumping, or steering, or doing anything, there is a chance that you will just get hurled off of the plane. Which, in fairness, is probably realistic. Don't put it in your platforming game. This one will crash, because it is smoking. So you need to fight your way through the pudding to get that heart tank, and then land safely on the green one. And from now, it's pretty simple. You just need to not take a lot of damage here, which, man, so difficult. And then just get on here and you got your bus ride out. The issues with that section, outside of the obvious instant death is all around you, is basically every rescue Reploid in that one is in some kind of mortal danger or stupid-ass spot, which you did see in the montage, so hopefully you get it. This section coming up, right here, I'm switching to Axel because I am going to take damage. There's just, like, no way around it. So, you see that laser? That laser's hitbox is enormous. Can't jump over it. Might be able to use Axel's dodge roll, which I'll go over a little later when I use it on screen, to go through it. And if I go to the left and spawn that one rescue Reploid that I was talking about earlier, look at how fucking fast those fucking things go. Son of a bitch. If you go over there, that laser sweep will kill him. Just, it will, because they're present, and so are the lasers. So what you want to do is advance so that the lasers don't know what to do anymore. Once you go past them, and I mean literally just as soon as you go past them and they finish this firing cycle, they will just sit here, and they will rotate. They will not stop rotating. So if you go back into their firing range, they will still be over here rotating, because they are now incapable of actually fighting against you. And clearly, the only option to do in that instance is to just give up forever. So now that we've quote-unquote disarmed the cannons, it is now safe to go over here and get this rescue Reploid.
I heard.
Herbie is in our pocket. We have another power-up for X.
Speaking of power-ups...
Go for it, because this is long and boring.
Alright. There are power slots, speed slots, and special slots.
3 categories.
4 for each character.
Before you go into it, you would assume that power would be attack power, speed would be movement speed, and special would be maybe special weapon oriented or extra features. What do they actually do?
It's kind of like that for some of them. The first 2 power slots increase your attack by 30% and 50%.
Unsure if those stack, by the way.
No idea. The 3rd slot reduces damage by half, which those first 3 are so fucking vital.
Yeah, if you are going to power up, do them in the order that you see me do them here. Get those 3 first. Just, no matter what you're doing, get those first.
The 4th one increases the range of your shots, which, you know...
It's helpful, but if you don't want to prioritize it, you don't have to.
It also extends Zero's range, I think? Maybe his sword's longer? I don't fucking know. Next up is Speed, which... The first 2 increase your rate of fire, I think? Or how fast your bullets travel across?
I think it's travel, because your rate of fire... X's rate of fire remains pretty constant for me. And that's me, so...
The 3rd one increases your dash, which might be length or speed.
Real quick, pro tip for right here is just switch to Axel, use the dodge roll, and avoid those enemies, because that door will keep spawning enemies, and that girl is a tank. So just fucking ignore it. Continue.
And the 4th one, I think, increases your charge speed.
Yes.
That's for X. For Axel, it's the same speed increases for shot and his dash. The fourth one increases his hover speed, so I guess he moves faster.
I guess I don't show off right there.
Yeah.
I was hoping I did, but fine.
For Zero,
Oh, there you go.
the speed things increase his saber combo.
Yeah, so basically, a thing that makes the character special gets faster.
Then for Special 1 is healing effect up. I don't fucking know what that means.
It means that when you pick up a health power-up, it heals you for more than it would normally.
The next two are Invincibility up, which is how long you flash with invulnerability.
Which is another vital one.
Yeah, absolutely get those. For X, the last special one is enemy drop up, so...
How often they drop health and ammo.
For Axel, it's use damage roll, which I assume means his dodge roll does damage. Which, hoo boy.
Okay.
And Zero gets an attack boost.
Great. Not on attack. Fuck it, whatever. So, we're getting our first armor capsule.
And God, the screeching...
Yeah, just everything about this one. Like, Dr. Light doesn't even get music in this one. Did you notice that?
Yeah.
Just nothing. Luckily, this is actually a pretty good Giga attack, which it bothers me that it is, but it is, so I'll take it. And so we've already got, the damage reduction and Giga attack opportunity, which is pretty nice to have early on. The only reason I didn't do this first is because the other stage is admittedly a little bit more simple, and you want to go in to boss fights as early as possible with the attack boost, because they just are damage sponges for the entire thing. This will also be the only boss shutter you see in the entire game, which is just a bummer. Like, it's not necessary, but it's really kind of sad. Also, just while I'm running around not being super effective, the charge shot, fully charged shot, penetrates terrain. Nothing else does. So, keep that in mind. Hi, my wings are so small. Myth, how small are they?
You fucking retarded! That's how small. So tiny. Cool. Like baby tiny wings.
You really are a
Cannot provide lift.
God, he just looks so dumb.
What sucks is...
He looks great in concept art.
Yeah, the rest of him looks fine, and then it's just like, oh, look at my little cherub wings! So, this is... I guess interesting is the right word for it. Boss fight arena, it is fairly traditional for a flying boss. You can fall off the edges, and it's just 2D. What makes it interesting is that when he's in the background, you can still attack him. Sometimes, if aim assist feels like being cooperative. What is fun... Well, no, we'll showcase all that later, because we do actually have footage of the special weapons at the end. I'm going to be Buster dueling everybody, basically, for the initial fights, and then in the refights I'll showcase the special weapons that they're...
A little bit.
Quote-unquote weak against.
Quote-unquote showcase.
Yeah. So... I got kind of lucky with his attack patterns in this one. Very often he will do the thing where he lands and shoots out like, he'll do that. If he starts to do that a lot, and you don't have Zero's double jump or like any jump enhancement stuff, it's basically going to hit you. Axel could dodge roll through it too, so there's also that. I could be swapping and doing that. But if he spams that a lot, you can take a lot of damage pretty quickly unless you're in like full tank mode. But it doesn't matter because there's the Giga attack wasting his ass. I'm pretty sure that'll hit him while he's in the background, too, because of how the hitbox works, but he might need to be kind of angled right, because I'm pretty sure it's projected as damage in a sphere.
Right.
So if he's not within that sphere, he won't take anything. I don't know if that was unlucky in vulnerability frames on my part when I tried it, or what. But, we get this now. Man, really liking the special weapons.
It's the Jehudi weapon. No, we won't see that until we get the Buster upgrade,
So, what I am doing now, though, is prioritizing armor, because I want to finish that up as quickly as possible. So you'll see the full glide armor pretty quickly, all things considered.
The glide armor.
Yes. It's very standard.
God, like, after all of the fun armors from 5 and 6...
It really... And it's... I'm willing to play devil's advocate a little bit and be like, okay, they transitioned to a new engine, they transitioned to 3D, they probably just couldn't figure out how to do multiple armors. So, that's fine, but at least they'll make the armor interesting, and it really is just kind of like a watered-down Falcon armor.
God, God, and when you see the fucking
Yeah.
Buster upgrade and the animations for gliding and...
So in this instance, I power up power. I really should have gone with special first. It doesn't make a huge difference in my run.
Jumping into special.
Yeah, exactly. So...
See, one thing I really love about this run is Axel and Zero aren't doing jack shit in the actual gameplay, so they're just hanging out at base, talking the entire game while X does all the fun shit.
Occasionally teleporting into, like, be a dodge tank or something. But yeah, it's really, like, just... Once I hit a certain threshold with X, you're not going to see these two at all. Which, again, is kind of a failure on the part of the team system, which is a bummer because it's such a good idea.
They really didn't do bad until suddenly...
So, Axel is trying to justify Red Alert's vigilante actions, and we won't get to learn more about it until next time.
Even the Red
Oh no.
stopped following Red's
Also,
orders.
what? The Maverick Hunters weren't following Red's orders, so shut up, Axel, you're wrong and stupid. Go down that elevator shaft and never come back.